Wagwan. I'm tuning up with some music. I'm tuning. I'm tuning up with some music, girl. Yeah, that's how we get up in here. That's how we get up in here. Nothing much packing for. You came back and you leaving again? Goodbye. Well, this time I hope it's somewhere warm. I hope it's somewhere warm. Okay, that will work. Because I don't want to hear no cold, nothing. Today we went up to like 50 degrees. 52 degrees, 57 degrees today. Yeah, today it was warm. It was like 50 something, mid 50s or whatever it was. I'm like, And then it went right back down. Right now it's at 48. It went right back down to 48 from 50. I think it was the last time I checked. It was like 56. I was like, ooh. Went up to 70 today. There you go. That's what I'm saying. Because I know somebody that lives on that side, and they're like, it's going up to like 70 something today. I'm like, let me check. So today it was about 50, maybe 58. So yeah, went up by about 10 degrees or so above us. Well, I'll take 70 for the time being. 70 is good. With sun, I take it. Yes, ma'am. Shush. Yeah. Listen, give me 70 with some warm sun. Because you know in the winter you can have some cold sun. Give me some warm sunshine with 70. I take it. Excuse me. I take it. Yeah, see? Yeah. I take that too. I take that even over the 70. That's what I'm saying. I take the 80 over 80 and above, please and thanks. Please and thanks. 80 and above. Appreciate it. Okay? I appreciate it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. 80 and above we do up in here, because I know I don't want to work with nothing less than 80. Maybe 79. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 79 will work. I'm just saying. Anything below 79 is unacceptable. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it if it's below 7. I don't want it. Okay? Good. So now that we got that together, and you're out shopping and packing and doing all sort of stuff, yeah, this will work well for you. This is going to work well for you. So listen, people. Today is the last Tuesday in February 2025. Oh, my goodness. My. Let me write this down. I got to write this down. Zalin! You got to get your sunscreen, get you some Vicks. Yeah, get you some Vicks. Get you some shea butter. You know shea butter can use as sunscreen. Yep. Shea butter is a natural sunscreen. Yep, shea butter, darling. Shea butter. Shea butter. I travel, I don't really take sunscreen. I use shea butter. Whenever I travel. No sunscreen in my bag, but a whole big thing of shea butter. Yep, because that shea butter gonna be used for variety of things. You got Cyril. Cyril going with you? Go where you going with Cyril? Or you just got Cyril for today? You got Cyril just for today? Oh, just for today. I have some Cyril I could make. I want to make some. I have the bag that I should go make some. You know, you can have Cyril tea. When you have some cold days, you could make Cyril tea. I'm going to make me some Cyril too. I do have the flowers. So I think I might make me some Cyril between today and tomorrow. Yep. I know it's those. Yeah, you can get. Yeah. You know that when you drink that Cyril, did you get the result of not being sleepy? Your keyboard glitching? And I thought it was me and my phone. I was tapping earlier and my phone was just doing a whole bunch of stuff too. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stuff's just been happening, darling. And then I sit here and for some apparent reason, um, I got a phone call. A phone call was coming into me from this morning. Like when I look at my phone, within 8 o'clock this morning, 8:30 this morning to like 3 o'clock, that one phone number was calling me. One phone number. I'm like, I don't know nobody from this place. Like, this is a whole different state. I'm like, I don't know nobody from the state. But the phone number kept calling, and I'm like, if you're not leaving me a message, it's not important because once you call me one time, you don't get me. You call me a second time, and you're not leaving me a message. You scam yourself away. Okay, scam yourself away. You won't let me. All right. So yeah, it's flirting. Your phone is flirting. What happened? Yeah, so the phone number called me again, and I'm like, let me pick up that phone number, hang right up. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but whoever it is, BC. Correct. But anywho, dear people, dear viewers, welcome to another episode of the Question Live Show. I had to just get that out of my system before we start anything. Welcome to another episode of the Question Live Show with your host, the one and only moi. I'm your host for the night. It's Tuesday at 7 p.m. Your phone flirting. Goodbye. I don't know who flirting with, but guess what? You better go sit down somewhere. Anywho, this is the Question Live Show. If this is your first time on the Question Live Show, then you are quite welcome, darling. You are quite welcome. I like first timers when they come on. And if it's not your first time, then guess what? You resume your position as a returning audience. So guess what's going to happen? I said welcome to you as well. But the first timers, I love the first timers because first timers, you know what happened to first timers? They get special treatment. They do. They get special attention. They do. It's like having a new baby. And everybody know that you have this new baby. And what happened? They all jump in and the neighbors, everybody come on in. And they're like, yeah, we're here. Oh my God. And then you adopt somebody's child as auntie and godmother and all this great stuff, right? So if you are new on this channel, I would like for you to put right here, right here, wherever it is, right there. Put in the comment section that you are new. Okay, we want to welcome you properly. We want to welcome you with the "Are you free enough?" Welcome, right? We want to welcome you with that, and because we like to have fun, We do all that stuff over here. And because she is new again, because why? It is a brand new day. Simple means she's new. Yes, she is new. So it's a brand new day. So all things are new. So welcome, new person ambassador Trinity. Welcome. We welcome you. 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 Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, Ambassador Trinity. Mm-hmm. Listen to me. This space was created for you to come on in here and share with us. It's a safe space. You come on in here and you share with us. You share your good, your bad, your ugly, the big and small. Small win, big wins, all the wins win. We like to share. We like to hear your story. We like to celebrate your story. And when we celebrate each other's story, guess what happened? We have greater stories. Yeah, we have greater story. And because she love it here already, that's it. See what I'm saying? She love it here. I want you to come on in and love it here. So I make it very comfortable for you to come on in here and enjoy the space here. Yes. So what we do over here, we tell story. We like to hear your story. We share books, we share accomplishments, we do all these great things over here. And because it is February rolling down, rolling down, rolling out. February is rolling. Like February is like gone. Like February ain't got no behavior. February just gone, darling. And because February gone, and February was known as Black History Month, Love Month, something else month, whatever month. For me, it's just, yeah, We're going to talk about some stuff in just a minute. But let me tell you a little bit about this space. This space likes to celebrate people. And whether it is a small win, big win, is a birthday, your anniversary, your boo's birthday, children's birthday, grandparents' birthday, mama birthday, parents' birthday, neighbor's birthday, you got a dog, you got a cat, you got a pet, you got something, you develop yourself a little bit more, you accomplish something, you receive a certificate, a diploma, a degree, you made it to a next level in school, all this great stuff. You publish something, you release something. We like that over here because that's what we come on in and we celebrate you over here. You know why we celebrate each other? Because it is a form of support. And when we support each other, guess what happens? We will grow together. Yep, indeed. And not only grow together, but we become stronger together. How many of you know that the more we work together is the stronger we will be? You see, God created all of us to work together to accomplish a goal, and that is to replenish the earth. Replenishing the earth, a lot of people got that out of context. I think maybe my parents did that too. They believe that when you say replenish the earth, that means you should have a lot of children. Having a lot of biological children is not the answer to replenishing the earth. Did y'all know that? No. If you didn't know, now you know. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. And you just have all these babies. Well, I'm going to speak for my parents because my parents got a lot of children. And I believe somewhere along the line, like they read that. Like, we should be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. No, darling. Replenishing the earth is not about you having a max amount of children. No. Replenishing the earth simply means that that's part of it. Because without having the children, you won't be able to have more people on the earth. You see what I'm saying? But that's not all it is. It is saying that you operate with the capacity to do greatness on this earth. It is said that we have the ability to come together, work together with our gifts, our talents, our intention, our goals, our expectation, work together and build up what? Our neighborhood, our community, our home, and the world. That is exactly what replenishing the earth simple mean. So when we work together, because you have something that I want, I have something that you want, we tap into that and we ignite each other gifts and talent. And what happened? It explode into greatness. It explodes into greatness. And because it explodes into greatness, what is happening? We will realize that we are all on a journey called life. Yes, we are all on this lovely journey called life. And because we are all on this journey called life, somewhere along the line, our lives path cross with each other. And I encourage you that when you cross path with someone, make sure that you're making you're leaving a positive impact on the person's life. You see, when I show up, I don't show up to impress nobody, but I show up to impact a life. I show up to let you know that, guess what? My story is mine, but I'm not here to impress you with it. I'm here to inspire you and impact your life and impact the masses. So I'm not here to impress nobody. No, 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 no. And that's not what we're supposed to show up. When we show up, we should not show up with no intention to impress anybody. Nope, not the way you look, not the way you dress, not the way you speak. None of that should be, that's not impressive. No, we should not walk around with that mentality that we want to impress anybody. Right? So with that said, I want to let you know that our path cross because there's something that each and every one of us need from the other one. Yes. Right? It's like a magnet going towards a metal. It's like, right? And we snap in that and we ignite each other. And what happened? We will grow together. When we grow together, it is a better society. You see, each and every one of us, we all want to be successful. Am I right? Am I right? Uh-huh. Am I right? Am I right? We all want to be successful. Absolutely. We all want to be successful. Nobody on this earth, and if there's one person on this earth that says, I don't want to be successful, please call me. Uh-huh. Please call me, because you know what happened? Oftentimes, we define success by having money. We define success by saying we have a vast amount of money. But how many of you know that's not true? No, because you could be wealthy and poor at the same time. You could be wealthy with a poverty mindset at the same time. So success is not about you gathering up a vast amount of money, tuck it in your bosom, tuck it in your pocket, and build all these great things. No, absolutely not. Success, my dear audience, can be defined in so many different ways. So many different ways we can define success. Well, maybe that's your definition of success, by having vast amount of money. But you see, if we are not contributing to society, if we are not helping the next person, then we are not successful. Because again, we were created to multiply and replenish the earth. Now, from my experience, from my knowledge, when we multiply something, the value increase better than when we add together. I was never good in math in school, but I know the basic in math. When we multiply, the value is more. When we add, it increases a little. And so we don't deal with add in every episode that we speak. We add because you're here. That is added because you're showing up. That's adding. But what is it? When we take the add and we start multiply that, simply means that your gifts, your talent, your potential, your intention, your vision, your dreams, your goals, when we take that and we multiply it and say, let me see what you got. Let me see how I can help you birth your purpose. Let me see how I can help you get to your destiny. Then that simply means that we are multiplying. We're multiplying, so we move out of the addition and we multiply. So let me inform you or remind you that no one, absolutely no one, can succeed by themselves. So it doesn't matter how you define success. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter. Success cannot be accomplished individually. No one can succeed by themselves. Whether you are the prime minister, the president, the governor, the mayor, the student, the teacher, the doctor, the lawyer, it doesn't matter what position you're in. Whether you are the world leader of 10 countries, it doesn't matter. No one If you are a world leader at this point, you did not get to that position by yourself. Absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not. You did not get there by yourself. And because you did not get there by yourself, it's the same concept I am bringing awareness to, that we must come together. We must work together. And we must build together to create that which we were born for. And that is prosperity. Okay, that is to show the earth that we were created for this. No one should be getting divided. No one should be getting left back. No one should be sitting there not even have water to drink. No one should be sitting there in poverty. No one should be sitting there saying, oh my God, how should I go forward? No, because we were created to work together. So if you believe that your vast amount of wealth is that which you accomplish by yourself, let's check yourself. No, check yourself, check yourself, check yourself. You didn't get it by yourself. And therefore, you cannot maintain it by yourself either. May I say that again? You did not get it by yourself. Whatever riches, whatever wealth you have, because riches, I could tell you, riches and wealth is not the same word. It's not the same meaning. And I'm like, oh, I'm so rich. I'm so rich. I'm so rich. Darling, you can be rich in love, but you don't have wealth. You could be rich in kindness, but you don't have wealth. And you could be wealthy, but you don't have riches. Let's check. It's like mic check. Mind check. Okay? You could be wealthy, so wealthy, but you're not rich. Because you're poor in love, you're poor in compassion, you're poor in kindness, you're poor in peace, you're poor in sharing, you're poor in giving, you're poor. So let's have a mind check. Mind check. Click. Okay? So let's gather that together. Let's gather that together. So no one. So we need each other. And we got to get this understanding. We got to get this message very, very clear. We got to get this message very clear that we need each other. You might not need me, but you need somebody else. I might not need you, but I need somebody else. So we need each other. It's not that we want each other. We need each other. Need is a greater desire. I need you. You need me. Simple mean is a greater desire than want. Want, you work your tail off and go get something. Need simply mean like, I need for you to add on to me. I need to get to my destiny door. I need to get to my purpose door. But I see that there's somewhere in that you got something that I might need. And that maybe is a little push. A little kindness, a little smile, a little showing up and taking action. Yeah, right? So with that said, I want to say to you, please make yourself available to be of help to somebody. Make yourself available to love on somebody. Make yourself available to care for somebody. We hear this before. Sharing is caring. Make yourself available to share. Because at the end of the day, it is not just sharing is caring. It is a part of our DNA. It's a part of what we were created to do, to share with somebody. You see, if you're new on this channel, I'll tell you the story of the little girl who came from a huge family. Huge. She's at the bottom of the list. But some reason, you see, sometimes you have to look back and know that your purpose was already in place before you got here. This little girl, she didn't know that was her purpose, but she figured it out now. She came from a huge family, and her mother was a great cook. Lord knows her mother was a great cook. And what she would do when her mother would make her breakfast in the morning, she would eat a little bit from that breakfast, and she would take the rest of the breakfast and tuck it in her pocket. Her nice, clean uniform. Anybody out there that having your children go to school in uniform? Her nice, clean uniform. She would tuck some of that breakfast in her school uniform pocket, and she would run off to school. And somewhere along the line, she knew that there was somebody in her class that didn't have no breakfast. Somewhere along in that line, she knew the person who she was going to share that breakfast with. And she would go to school, take out that breakfast, and she would share it with that person. Yeah. And she would share it and share it. And Whisper got it that she was bringing breakfast to school. You know what happened? Somebody else started bringing breakfast to school. Somebody else started bringing breakfast to school. And now the class became a sharing class because somebody started sharing a piece of bread, somebody started sharing a piece of egg, somebody started sharing a piece of plantain, somebody started sharing a piece of dumpling, somebody started sharing something. So what happened? Nobody in the class was hungry anymore. Absolutely not. Nobody was hungry anymore. But you see, that little girl grew up. She grew up to face life. She grew up to develop her own life and grew up to be a mother. She went in her adulthood, but somewhere along the line, that mentality stuck with her. And she kept sharing all the way into her adulthood. She did. She kept sharing. And why she kept sharing? She was not going back in her pocket to share her breakfast anymore, but she was still sharing her time, her space, her love, her kindness, her heart got expanded, and she shared all that she had. She just shared. She was just sharing. If she had $1, she was sharing 50 cents from the dollar. If she had $1, she was sharing 25. She was just sharing. And she got to a point she just shared. She felt good sharing. She knew that was her purpose because she was told. She got it. That was her purpose, to heal the land by serving others. She grew up seeing her parents serve the community. She knew somewhere along the line, somewhere. And she found out that her purpose is to serve the land. Be of service to humanity. And you know, as she be of service to humanity, her heart just got bigger, and she traveled the world, and she's still sharing, because now she's an adult, and she traveled around the world, sharing her kindness, sharing her love, sharing her knowledge, and just kept going. And she shared and shared and shared. And as she shared around the world, it is not questionable. It is not questionable that is her purpose. Because as she shared, she show up with everything that she got, and she still share. Because you know what? How I know? Because that's not a makeup story. How I know this little girl? It's not somebody called me on the phone and told me that story. How I know that little girl? It's not somebody put it on social media and I read it. How I know that girl? I didn't read it in the newspaper. No. Ask me how I know that little girl, and I'll tell you. Otherwise, we pause right there and we find out later on how I know that little girl. Mm-hmm. Now, as we are talking about, first of all, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to all the birthday people. If you're out there and it's your birthday, if it's out there and your birthday, drop it in the comment section that it is your birthday. I want to give a big shout out to the birthday people. Come on in here. I want to celebrate you. If it's your anniversary, I want to celebrate you. If you met a new boo, I want to celebrate you. If you got engaged, I want to celebrate if you got married. I want to celebrate if you're pregnant. If you're having a baby, if you had a baby, I want to celebrate you. So a big shout out to the people out there that's having birthday. My family is, I got a lot of family members with birthday. Every time I tell them like birthday again. So I'm from a huge family. So I have a lot of birthdays in my family, biological family. I have a lot of birthdays. And then I have adopted family, extended family, and I have a lot of birthdays. So birthday shout out to all of y'all out there. Big up yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about this month. This month is February. We are rolling out of February really, really, really fast. My goodness. And we're talking about it is Black History Month. It is considered Black History Month. And for those of you who've been here, those of you who've been on here since February, uh-huh. Since February, we've been on here and I've been talking about it. I don't want to call it Black History Month. I don't want to call it Black History Month because I didn't grow up in that era. I didn't grow up with that mentality that I'm a Black woman. I didn't grow up in the fact that I was a Black girl, much less to be a Black woman. So I didn't grow up with that teaching. So I don't want to be called Black. No, I don't want to be called a color. I'm not a color. Absolutely not. So I didn't grow up with that. My mama never taught me like, oh, my little Black baby girl. I didn't hear that. So I don't want to use it in such a context that I'm a Black woman and I want to talk only about Black history. No, because it is Black History Month, I am bringing up a lot of things about now. And me personally believe that when we start saying black or white and black and white, it erupts and disrupt a space inside of us, right? And a space of trauma or a space of hurt, pain, and we bring that up at most time. But there are several things that in Black History Month that a lot of inventors came forward, and a lot of inventors did a lot of things. Were they? There are great people out there, but we are all born with greatness inside of us, so we all can accomplish something. But why I don't want to use that? I want to use that it is our culture, right? It is our culture, it is our heritage, and we should be born culture, talk about our heritage, talk about our community, talk about our low story and get up to the high story. We want to talk about the high story, but let's go back down and dig up in that valley of where we came out of. What is it that we accomplished? What is it that we went through to come back up here? So when you see the word history, anybody know me, I love words. So I will break those words off. And I said, it says high story, right? So I want to talk about those high. I want to talk about the stories that sit in there. So I call it high story instead of history because I realize now that for every single thing, if it's a man thing, a woman want to do what a man thing. A man thing, a woman want to do a woman thing. We don't want to do all of that. We don't want to have a conflict of interest because now I see that it's saying history. So now people don't want to say history. A woman don't want to say history. A woman want to say her story. Now, if we look at the word her story, it's HER, and story is over there. Like, it is not her story anymore. Right? So why is it that we want to have his story? Because the word his story is not history. His story is not history. If y'all don't believe me, write it down and you'll see. HISTORY. It's not his story. That his and Tory are high and story. Now somebody went and they did. They're like, oh, so if we have his story, let's write her story. Why are we even doing that? Why are we having some form of competition, some form of race, some form of conflict? Why are we even conflicting the entire generation? We don't even need to do that. Like, honestly, we don't need to do that. So what I did, I said, listen, let's talk about our culture, our heritage, our community. Let's talk about where we're coming out of. Let's talk about we accomplished something, but let's go back down in the valley, dig the valley up, and then come back up again and say, guess what? My valley was this. So that's exactly what I want to bring to you. That's what I've been bringing to you since February. And we're going to get through by the end of this week, which is Friday. We are going to end it with something juicy fry. We're going to end the end of this month juicy, right? So I want to talk about the culture. I want to talk about my culture, your culture. We're going to mix it together and let you know that, see, I'm a native of the most beautiful place in the world, and that is Jamaica. I don't leave my mouth to say that. I say it with confidence. I say with audacity to say that I am a native of the most beautiful place in the world. You don't believe me? Get yourself. If you don't have a Jamaican friend, and if you're not Jamaican, then go ahead and find yourself a Jamaican friend. And you know what I'm telling you. Or better yet, let's talk about you traveling to Jamaica, and I'll use what I'm talking about, right? So I want to talk about our culture. And when I'm talking about our culture, I realize that my culture, my Jamaican culture, is not really, it is just about us around the world. It is a global thing. And some things that I'm going to share somewhere in this culture, we all can relate to it somewhere. So, what I'm going to talk about, trust me, just me. That's what we're going to talk about. Just me. You see, when we talk about trust me, the first thing we probably think about, you in a relationship and you don't trust a person, or you trust a person, somebody in a relationship, like, can you trust me? Right? That's we hear somebody like, can you trust me? That's one of the first things. And when we hear that question, we're thinking about a relationship. We're thinking about a friendship, like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. Can you trust me? I don't trust you. Right? We're thinking about a relationship. And because we're thinking about a relationship, what is happening? That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about growing up in Jamaica, growing up in my nice little mountaintop residence. My nice little residence was on the top of a mountain. Top on the mountain. We had just overlook everything. Beautiful. But I'm talking about this. I'm talking about where we had community. We had a community. We had space of community. We had community where we share and we build together. Community where it says that we talk about this, where we said we didn't have something, but the neighbor had it. And we weren't in lack because what? We run down to the neighbor. We run up to the neighbor and we say, can we? Mama says, Papa says. And what happened? We share. Can you trust me some rice? We would go, we had the community shops, and those community shops would have these things. And when your parents can't afford something, they say, go to the shop, tell Mr. Brown, tell Mr. John, trust you a pound of flour, trust you some sugar, trust you some salt, trust you some meat, and I will pay him later on. That's what I'm talking about when I say trust me. Trust me that, and what would happen? They would go and they would have a piece of paper and they would write that name with a list. That list was sitting there, and it would be a grocery list, and that grocery list would be sitting there with your name. Not the parents' name would be sitting there, Mrs. Brown, Mr. Peter, Mr. John, and your name would be listening, and all the things that your child or you trust, would be on that list. And then the price equal right there. Oh, that's $50. They know somewhere along the line, maybe on Saturday, when somebody get paid, that $50 gonna be coming to the shop, and they didn't have to run after you to like, hey, you didn't pay me $50. Hey, you didn't pay me $40. Hey, you owe me $20. Nobody had to run after you because what? They trust you. It was a trusted community. So we trust you in the mentality and we trust you physically. We're like, hey, we trust you that we're going to work together physically, and we trust you mentally, and we trust you socially. We trust you financially. We trust you spiritually. We trust you. We trust the community. We add a knitted community. So when you go to the shop and say, my mama said, can you trust her some sugar? I don't know in another culture what you call the term. But guess what? In another culture, or in our global culture, that we want to call black, in our global culture, somebody did that. Not only me from Jamaica, but believe me, I could call up somebody else from the United States, somewhere down up south, northwest, east, west, somewhere. And guess what? They're going to relate. So somewhere around the globe, our culture can relate to this topic. You trust somebody. And you go, and when you get that which you want and you pay for it, they cross off your name. Cross off the item. Okay, no, you no longer owe. So it's like you owing something. It's like you're borrowing something. You're sharing something, right? I don't have it. Can I borrow a cup of sugar? My mama says she ain't got no money right now, but can you trust her something? Simply means they said we would like for you to lend us this until she can afford it. Hello? These are the stories like I like to hear. These are the cultures. So I don't like to hear the pain story. The pain story there. But these are the culture stories that when we reach up here, go back down in that valley and come back up and give me that story. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that story down in that valley. And let's work on that story down in that valley. And that is how we come together and we build something called our heritage. So me personally would like this month to be called Heritage Month. I'm just saying, but who's little me? Who is me to say that? I'm me who see things in a conscious state of mind. Okay? I'm the one that sees things in a conscious state of mind. That if we say Heritage Month, I believe things would be a little bit smoother. Personally saying. That's my observation. You would just say, oh, it is our heritage month or it is our story month. I think things will go a little bit smoother. Just say, think about it, right? So if we call it our heritage month, if we call it heritage month, our cultural story month, heritage history month, hey, that will work. So I'm saying that when we come together globally as a culture, now it developed into our heritage and we hold our heritage strong. We hold it and we don't only put it in our bosom, but we walk proudly with it. I walk proudly with my culture. Yes, I do. I walk proudly knowing that I came from a culture that when they say that my family were the poorest, and I didn't know this story. When they say that my family is poorest, I don't know what they use to define my family to be the poorest. But I grew up in a culture, I grew up in a community where I saw my parents did more for the community than anybody else. So at what point did you define my family as the poorest? I grew up in a culture where we share together. I grew up in a culture where, guess what? My mama would cook and feed somebody else. I grew up in that culture. I grew up in that community. So again, you can be wealthy, but you are poor. We were rich. We were rich. And when you define my family as being the poorest under your standard, I don't know what it is. But at the end of the day, these are the stories that I use and mold them together and stand proudly and say, guess what? This is my culture. And stand proudly and say, that's my family. I'm going to put all of them together, blend them together, let you know that that's my heritage. That when I show up as the girl that's going to talk about her heritage. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm going to show up. You see, I grew up where you don't have milk for your cereal, but you're going to put some water in there. You're going to eat it by itself. Hello, somebody, some cornflakes by itself. Honey, let me tell you something. You're going to crunch, 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 and eat that by yourself. Maybe, just maybe, somebody had milk where they just keep on pouring milk into their bowl as they eat. One spoon, they pour another thing of milk. But no, darling, our culture went through that where we didn't have that. They had that. But what happened? We maneuver ourselves through that and we come on up. You see, at the end of the day, behind me right here, that is showing that I came out of that mold. I went up out of that valley and became the first published author in my community. So culturally, I'm adding on. Culturally, I'm multiplying. Okay? I'm multiplying. the first published author out of the same family that they define as being the poorest. Yeah. So as I show up building my own legacy. I show up walking with my parents' legacy on my shoulder. And they say, you are standing on the shoulder of your ancestors. Darling, I am walking with my parents' legacy. So how many of you know, or how many of you can say that you trusted something for your family? How many of you say that you borrowed something for your family? How many of you saying, somebody say, can you trust me that for your family? How many of you have to cross off that which you trusted, that which you owe, when you put your money together, when that money multiplied? See, my parents, they were farmers. My parents were farmers. And because they were farmers, we had to wait for something to be planted. We got to wait for something to be planted. And not only that we got to wait for it to be planted, but we got to wait for it to grow into a product. We had to wait for something to produce from that little seed or for the little grain for them to sell it to feed their children. Yeah, we had to wait. So in the process of waiting, what is it that you do? Because you see, in the process of waiting, that is where your valley is. That is where your valley is. And I talk about how my parents, how my mama, who was a great cook, she would sit there, and when she make that food, she make enough food. I thought it was enough food. And she make it seem like it was a lot of food. Because strategically, she fed her children. And logically, she said, somebody might be passing my gates and might be hungry. With a compassionate heart, she said, somebody might be passing by and they ain't got nothing to eat. Or somebody might shop at my door knocking and they ain't got nothing to eat. So I'm going to make this food. And that which she had, she made it. But guess what she did? She multiplied the food. How, you may ask me? How did she multiply the food? I tell you what my mama did. I talk about what my mama did. She had food and she would cut them in pieces. And you, as a child, in your innocence, you would believe that you had a lot of food on your plate, but it really was not a lot of food. But guess what? At the end of the day, we were not hungry. And she strategically built such vast amount of food on our plates that our eyes and our mind and our hearts came into one to believe that our mama served us a lot of food. She would cut them in pieces. And put them on your plate and spread them out. And as she spread them out on your plate, you're like, ooh, I got a lot. Ooh, one dumpling could be cut in 6 pieces. And you're like, ooh, I got 3 pieces of dumpling. I got 3 pieces of banana. I got 3 pieces of yam, 3 pieces of potato. And like 3 pieces, bah, voila. She served her children. She served her family. And yet she had excess amount behind. Why did she have excess amount? Because guess what happened? She was considering somebody just might walk by and didn't have anything. Somebody just might knock on her door that didn't have no food. But at the end of the day, when nobody walked by, we were not going to get that extra food, and maybe until tomorrow. That leftover food, we might just get it for breakfast. If it was dinner, we might get it for breakfast. Yeah, we might just get the leftover for dinner, for breakfast. Because nobody extra came for dinner. But we went to sleep, we had a good dinner, and we went to sleep. And what happened? We got up, the excess amount of food is still there. But if she had Just the exact amount. You see, that taught me well, that taught me how to share and how to multiply that which I have. Because you see, I don't wait for the excess amount to share from my excess amount or from my overflow. Mm-mm. I get to share from what I have. Because my mama said, you share from right here. Because at the end of the day, you're going to multiply. So this is the heritage. This is my story. Right? This is my story. And then when you get that, and then my mama, I talk about my mama was a baker. See, my mother was an entrepreneur. She didn't even know that big word. I didn't even know it either until I learned it recently. I had to learn how to say it. I learned it because I am one. And I had to pronounce it properly. I'm like, oh, what is that big word? Aren't you? What? Right? That was like foreign word. But my mama was a baker. So how many of you know, when you are baking something, you wait, your mama baking, and you wait until she do all that mixing. Do all that mixing. And when she do all that mixing, you and so pouring in the dough or pouring in the mixture, you wait for the bowl, the empty bowl. What do you do with that? Hello, somebody out there. Culturally, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know. Mm-hmm. 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 Yep. I know you know. Because we can relate. And that's our culture. Not only Jamaican. I mean, that our culture, our global culture. That's what makes our global culture beautiful and sweet. That's what makes our global culture so tantalizing, and that's what makes our culture so inviting. That's what makes our culture so rich. Because right around the world, we can relate a story. Mhm. Right around the world, we know what it is to love on each other. Because what? We got it from home. How to share with each other, we got it from home. You see, you get it from your home, then the neighborhood, the community, then outside of the community. We learn how to do that. Yeah. Yep. All of that put together create our heritage. All of that put together. So as we are celebrating what was put in place as Black History Month, let us remember that we should not define ourselves by color, but we should define ourselves by our cultural story and our heritage contribution unto society. You see, so many of us invent the greatest things ever. And let me see, I'm going to pull up some of the great invention that we did. Some of the greatest things that we did out there. We must celebrate our greatness in such a light, in such a space and time. In such a space and time, we should celebrate it in such greatness and not only stuck with the fact that we're saying Black History Month, but we celebrate all the inventions that was created. We celebrate all the invention. And we salute the invention because when we salute and celebrate the invention of our people, of our inside of our culture, mix in our culture, It is saying that we're supporting their greatness. And once we support the next person's greatness, we say, let's reverse that and celebrate those who celebrate you. Help me to help you. So let us celebrate together our culture, our global family. If you don't know, because you just got on this channel, you never heard of the Are You Free Enough platform, you never heard of the Question Live show, you never heard of Verona Willis-Brown before. Now today is your day. Okay? Now today is your day. So as we go around in the Caribbean, go around the world, and we find our culture, and today is your first time hearing about the Question Live show, hearing about the Are You Free Enough platform, Verona Willis-Brown, congratulations. Because I'm going to tell a story. Yes, I will. I'm going to tell a story, and I asked you to show up and tell the story just the same. Somebody sent me today that a Caribbean ring game. There was a Caribbean ring game called the Bimini ring game. Was originated with the settlers of the Caribbean island, and it is a combination of African rhythm and European influences and so forth, and little games, and it talk about bull in the pen and so forth and so forth. And if you know that, then you know it, and so forth. So if you can relate to my story, then guess what? Now we just increase our culture. Now we just expand our culture. Our story matters. So let us spend the next couple of days, tap into our story, pull them out, and what? Let us celebrate our story. Our story matters. Your voice matters. And because your voice matters, mine matters, our voice matters. So guess what happened? Let us come together and celebrate this month and the rest of the month to come, as our heritage is on the horizon, as well as our culture. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ambassador Trinity, for coming in and being here. Have yourself a great. For those of you who came in and you did not identify yourself, I can say to you who you are to say welcome in. But if you came in for a quick second, pop in, say hi in the back, and I can't hear you because you're whispering back there. I said thank you for showing up, because it's these people like you that allow me to come up in here and have 370 episodes. It is people like you that allow me to come up in and keep on sharing my story. So whether you come on the channel, you like a shit, you like a short, you like a video, you like a live, whatever you do, I say thank you. Bye-bye.